What's going on, everybody? It is Sparks Comics here, bringing you guys my new comic book day haul for this week. New comic book day, August 4th. Lots of things this week. Big week for not getting books from like the usual ones. There's a lot of different smaller publishers that I've picked up books from today, but still a lot of Image, Boom, and we got some DC today as well. So stay tuned for that. First, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like the video, and drop a comment below. Let me know what you picked up this week for New Comic Book Day. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to jump into this right now. I'm going to start out with some of the books. Either these are books that I've read, or they are cover Bs or reprints, things like that, that I already bagged and boarded. I haven't taped them or anything yet, but just set those off to the side so I can focus on the pile of books to read. But I did read a couple of these so far. Nice House on the Lake, number 3. From DC Black Label, James Tynion writing this one, and Alvaro Martinez Bueno on the art. Such a good issue. Still a solid series just at the beginning, so definitely one you guys should be checking out if you're not, and you're especially if you're a James Tynion fan. This is just solid work coming from him. From Boom Studios, we got 7 Secrets. We are on issue number 11. Huge reveal in this one. Wow. Yeah, Tom Taylor knocking it out of the park as always. So that is, issue number 11 of that. Wind, I believe, issue number 9. I have not read it yet. This is just the cover B, the tarot variant from Ryan Gonzalez, and then the one per store variant here, which is the version of the cover A. I'll show you guys the cover A in a little bit. It is in my pile of things I still have to read. I did actually, this was my first read this week, surprisingly, because it's a Marvel book, but it's Silk, issue number 5. Absolutely love the way this wrapped up, seeming to implicate some, maybe some future things that could happen also. Love this entire 5-issue run by Maureen Gu. For Silk. Art was awesome inside also, but the writing was great. I really hope Maureen gets to write more of Silk's story. That would be super cool. I know she's got a mini story coming up in the Marvel Voices Asian American Pacific Islander, however they called that issue, which should be coming out in about like 2-3 weeks. Here's the Nice House on the Lake cover B by Christian Ward. Just phenomenal artwork by Christian Ward, as always. From Black Mass Studios, the second printing of Godkiller Tomorrow's Ashes right here. Phenomenal cover, and I'm really digging this story. I got the second, the 1 in 15 also for issue number 2. It does say that's cover C, so I don't know what cover B was because I only got the cover A with that. MFKZ, we got the Garbage Patch Kids, Garbage Pail Kids cover. Homage cover here, Crocodile Crook as the cover C for MFKZ, and then the cover B here. I'll show you guys the cover A in a little bit because I have not gotten to read this one yet. But love the extra covers there. Moving on, we got from AWA Upshot, a new one, Not All Robots, issue number 1. That is the cover A. I believe that one... who did the cover A? Cover A was by... Was it Raza? Let's see... I don't know if they say. I'm not seeing... I don't think... because I think Diodato Jr. did the cover B. Okay, here we go. Cover artist was Raza. And then Mike Deodato Jr. did the cover B, which I'm going to show you guys, the American Gothic homage right here, which is super cool. And this was a really solid story. I thought it was going to be, but I also thought there was this chance that we could be getting this like iRobot kind of story, or any of the AI stories we've already gotten. And it's a lot more complicated than that. And it's also speaking to the Me Too movement and the counter movement of garbage that was called the Not All Men movement. And that was kind of the inspiration for that. But yeah, so not all robots. And then funny thing, Mike Deodato Jr. in the back, they had like a little letters page kind of thing. Said, it should have been called Yes, All Robots, because he drew so many robots. But yeah, definitely recommend picking this up from AWA Upshot. And the other book that was new that I was really looking forward to this week was this one right here, The Me You Love in the Dark issue number 1. Scotty Young and Jorge Corona writing a masterpiece here. Yeah, because I loved issue 1 of this, and I got chills at the end of it. It was great. And then the rest of this here that's bagged and boarded is my pickups for the Stray Dogs covers here. So here is the issue 1. What print are we on here? 4th or 5th print? I want to say 5th print. And then issue 2, probably 4th print maybe. I'm forgetting how many of these have come out already. 3rd or 4th print on these. And then I think that would probably 3rd print. No, might be 4th print also, but this for sure. 5 is a 2nd print. So because all of the 2nd prints had this kind of style, they kept that with issue 5 and did a 1 in 10 Crow homage as their like horror variant homage there. So those are the ones I've read or are reprints or other covers. So let's move on to the ones that I haven't read yet. From Antarctic Press, Horror Comics issue number 6. This is the back cover actually, but it is the cover for one of the stories by Jonathan Chance. He's got 2 stories in here. This is the cover for the other story. But Jonathan Chance wrote 2 stories in here. Now All is Silver Blue and Respect Your Elders. This is the Respect Your Elders cover. I've read both of these from the Elseworlds anthology book. So this is really cool, though, to have them kind of almost in their own thing. Definitely recommend checking this out if your shop got this. 2 little mini horror stories that I think both, he said, could potentially be something more, or the way he ends them, you could continue them if he decides to revisit, or you don't have to, because they kind of wrap up pretty nicely. So super cool. Jonathan's a great guy, so bought this to show support there. I think I also ordered one from Aegis, so I'll have another one. Basilisk issue number 3. This is probably going to be the next one that I read. I've been loving Basilisk. I can't wait to see what happens next with the Chimera and the other one, if the ones that we haven't really seen too much from, to see their powers and what happens there. Also from Boom Studios, we've got Magic issue number 5 with I think this was Christina Kalita on the cover art here, which is super cool that her art's getting more recognized. Let's see, cover by Christina Kalita. Man, there was a Christian Ward variant cover, but there's so many variants out there for all of these books, and the number that I want to read and see the stories and that prevents me from buying extra covers nowadays. So focused on the reading more so than the covers and all that. Say that knowing I just bought a bunch of Stray Dog covers, but that one to me was a special series, and that's where I take exception to my rule of trying not to do those extra covers. Always am going to support the series that mean the most to me. So speaking of Wind, is one of those that I really, really enjoy, and also I'm going to be putting this to read very soon because it is just such an amazing series. It is fantasy series. It is representative of the LGBTQ community in some of the characters, and it doesn't feel forced. It feels very natural that this is who the characters are, and James Tynion just knocks that writing out of the park. And Wind is just not talked about enough. It is a very, very good series. So if you don't read Wind, you should read Wind, and that's what I'm going to say about it. It's eventually going to become some sort of adapted series. There was, I think, rumors of Nickelodeon at one point, but yeah, just read Wind. It's amazing. You won't regret it. Batman issue number 111, DC Comics. Miracle Molly there and Batman protecting her. I've been actually really digging this arc that we've got going on right now. So we'll see what happens next. There's always a backup Ghostmaker story also, which I've been enjoying. So yeah, Batman 111. Some Image Comics here. Firepower issue number 14. Again, this was one that I've been really enjoying. I was hoping I wasn't going to enjoy the start of this arc so that I could find a reason to drop it, having loved the first full story arc. But nope, still loving it and still going to keep reading that one. Glad to see. It's probably the other than Something is Killing the Children, it might be the longest running indie series that I'm currently reading. That's an ongoing right now. Once in Future, I'm not caught up on, and Die, I'm not caught up on, but they're also up there in the numbers. But yeah, that's a cool one that I started that one since I've been here, living in New Orleans, so it's got a little bit of a special place in my heart there. Geiger issue number 5. This one's been solid as well. So I'm gonna see, maybe this will be a 1-story arc for me, and then we'll see if I want to continue. I believe it's ongoing though, so yeah, who knows what'll happen there. I'm trying to find reasons to cut back on comics. This one though is never going anywhere, even though it's just it's not, to me, Inkblot is just this special comic of fun and Black Cat and fantasy and magic. It's not as heavy or consequential as some of the other stories, I feel like, but it's fun. It's the one that I read after I've read something a little heavier. So it's not going anywhere. It might end at 12. I don't know. I really don't know how long Inkblot's planned for, but if it just keeps going and going, I'm cool with that. Skybound X issue number 5. This ends the 5 weeks of Skybound X with a new story called Code, CODE, which stands for Combat Orb Defense Engines. This one is by Robert Kirkman and Jason Howard. So we'll see. That might be something new coming out from Image in the future. But we also wrap up the Rick Grimes 2000 story in this. Let's move on over to Aftershock Comics. We've got Out of Body issue number 3. Such an excellent story so far. We've got Peter Milligan writing and Inaki Miranda on the art. I'm going to add that over here to my pile of read this soon. From Behemoth Comics, we've got MFKZ issue number 2. Supposed to get Freak Snow number 3. I believe we're on number 3. But Diamond screwed up and the box did not arrive for that. So I don't know when my shop's getting it. They don't know yet either. There's a couple things. Stillwater also was part of that. So I did not get Stillwater. I'll go back to the shop on Friday and see. Maybe it'll be in then. But so only this one from Behemoth today. And hopefully next week Cinnamon finally comes out, because it was supposed to come out last week and Diamond delayed it and they delayed it again. So I haven't seen Diamond push things back more than 2 weeks before. I say that knowing that a lot of Second Sight books have been pushed back for like almost a month. So there's that too. So we'll see. Hopefully Diamond gets its act together and starts actually putting out books when they say they're going to. When publishers are trying to do it, that would be nice. So Black Mask Studios, God Killer Tomorrow's Ashes, issue number 2. That is the cover A there, which is really reminiscent to me of Trad Moore's art style there. The cover's by Anna Muckraker, but that reminds me of Trad Moore's art a lot. This does give you a previously in the very beginning. I did that on issue number 1 as well. But this is kind of a reminder, saying read Walk Among Us volumes 1 and 2 and Tomorrow's Ashes number 1 for the full story. But here is your little teaser of what happened before. And then Black Caravan, the Scout Comics horror imprint, We Don't Kill Spiders, issue number 1 by Joseph Schmalke. Looking forward to seeing what happens here. This was one that I also got in the Scout Comics subscription box, but even though I got it early, I haven't had time to read it yet. A couple Dark Horse comics this week, which to me that's so surprising and odd, because I don't ever pick up Dark Horse, but I am on a Dark Horse kick right now with Jenny Zero issue number 4. I believe this wraps up this series though, so this should be the end here. Lucky Devil issue number 1, a new one from none other than Cullen Bunn. Every week I've got a new comic coming from Cullen Bunn. And then The Worst Dudes issue number 3. I don't remember how many issues this is planned for, if it's 4 total as well. But it's a mini series, so not an ongoing. And last but not least, we have a company I'd never heard of, LP Comics, Literati Press Comics. This was on the shelf, and I said, okay, this looks interesting. We promised Utopia. It says dedicated to those willing to risk everything to save the world. Here's a little bit of a taste of some art on the inside, and it says look for issue number 2 coming in November. Literati Press is an ambitious subculture publisher and bookshop in the historic Paseo Plunge in the Paseo Arts District. Founded in 2010, Literati Press strives to advance the literary community within Oklahoma by advocating progressive and cerebral local, national, and international storytellers. So yeah, I had never heard of that, but there is a shop in Oklahoma City. Open 7 days a week. They have a website, literatipressok.com. This looked interesting, though. It was on the shop, got it, so I said I'll check it out. So I'll let you guys know how that is. If it's really good, definitely going to do a review and talk about it. But that is it for the haul for this week. Thank you guys for watching this. There's a lot of books this week, but not as many to read because a lot of other covers this week. This is a bad week for me limiting my cover purchases, but I don't anymore buy things solely for the cover, except for coming up. I see I'm breaking my rules already. Coming up, the silk cover that's going to be on Amazing Spider-Man, I want to say 72, 73. That's the In-Huck Lee cover. So occasionally here and there, but for the most part, I've cut back on doing that and focused on the books I'm reading and the reading part of the collection, which makes it cheaper to buy everything and makes it easier to read more books. So that is what I picked up this week. This is pretty much all I have left to read. So that's it. I'm going to start reading some of those books, and if you made it here and you aren't subscribed, hit that button down below. There's a bell notification button also, so you'll know when we're dropping new videos. We'll have, after we get through our reading, Caroline and I will have a top 5 video at some point. We need to do some more reviews for you guys soon here too. And coming up also, we have an interview with Joe Carollo, the writer of Beck Star. That'll be Thursday night. So we'll see you guys there live for that interview. And as always, guys, collect what you love. See you next time.